Welcome back. Today we're joined by Lorraine Gaoses, the Sectional Head of Environmental Engineering at the City of Windhoek. With her leadership at the forefront of the city's environmental initiative, Ms. Gaoses plays a critical role in steering Windhoek towards its vision for becoming a sustainable and caring city by 2027. As we commemorate World Environment Day 2025 under the theme Ending Plastic Pollution in Windhoek, Ms. Gaoses shares her insights on policies, innovations and local efforts aimed at combating plastic pollution and creating a cleaner, greener city for all residents. Lorraine, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Nina. Thank you
so
for having me.
For being here.
Sure.
Well, to start with, perhaps you can talk to us about, what World Environmental Day means to you personally and then to the city.
Okay. As you said in your intro, the city is vision is basically for to be a sustainable and caring city, and you cannot speak about sustainability without actually addressing the environment component of it. So basically, as a city, we geared towards developing environmental sustainability within the city, and then the World Environment Day basically is just a reminder for us of what we have achieved as a city as well with our environmental effort and what we do as protecting the environment, and also to raise awareness towards to the public, especially with environmental protection of our natural resources and so on.
Talk to us a little bit, Lorraine, about the most pressing, plastic pollution issues that are currently facing Windhoek.
Currently, Windhoek, just like any other city, is faced with a lot of waste problems, and one of those is obviously plastic and the proliferation of single-use plastic. So we are not an exception to that. And apart from that, we also have overloaded waste management facilities, and which leads also then to environmental degradation due to plastic litter as well. So apart from these issues, they don't only affect the ecosystem, they also affect our, they also contribute to the urban plight of the city. And then it also clogs our water systems. And then also obviously with clogged water systems, then you have wastewater flowing all over the place and causing further problems as well.
Expand a little bit for us on the impact on both, infrastructure and public health in the city. Expand on that for us a little bit.
With regard to the infrastructure, as I said before, it's basically your systems that are inundated with litter, and then they don't function properly anymore. And the sewer system is one of those that are actually the biggest impacted. And then once your sewers are clogged, then you have overflow of wastewater, and then that causes health, that actually is like a breeding ground for health, for diseases and also pathogens and so on, which impacts on your public health. And then also with plastic, also when it leaches into the environment, it releases chemicals, and those chemicals also impact on the public health as well. So all of these things are due to accumulation of your plastics, and you know that plastic is not biodegradable. Right. So basically it just breaks down to smaller pieces of plastic, which comes in a different version and then also get absorbed in your soils and your water, and then it becomes another health problem as well.
Lorraine, are there any current or maybe upcoming policies specifically targeting plastic reduction and waste management?
Yes, we do have, as a city, we do have the waste management policy, which currently deals with, or is based on principles of your polluter pays principle, sustainability issues, and then also the concept of integrated waste management. So, but then the policy obviously does not address the issue of plastic. So the policy is now under review to actually include things such as your circular economy, and to also address plastic at a deeper level with regard to the polluter pays, to actually bring it back to the producer responsibility, what we call your extended producer responsibility. So that's what we trying to review the policy to actually address some of those issues.
How are you, as the City of Windhoek, encouraging, innovation in plastic recycling or even alternative materials?
The city, I'm sure you might be aware of our city buyback center that we have currently developed. So the city has actually have like a complete paradigm shift with regard to waste. We're actually trying to adopt the concept of circular economy. So we got some funding from the EU where we develop our, the EU funding is actually to improve on our waste management facilities. And also then part of that funding was to develop strategies that incentivize people to actually get into the circular economy, to actually reduce waste going to our landfill site. So in the same venue, actually, how can I say, adding to the economy, and then also you are reducing your waste at the same time. Yeah. So that's what we're aiming at.
Are there any, engagement that the city does with schools or local communities and businesses, to raise awareness, further awareness, and on reducing plastic usage?
Yeah, we have school campaigns that we work with the different schools and communities, and especially also cleanup campaigns. The business community is very keen on the cleanup campaign, so we get quite a bit support from business communities also with the cleanup campaigns, and the schools also then participate in some of these cleanup campaigns, and also just educational programs. We have a education, how can I say, section that just go out there to educate students or pupils with regard to a reduction of waste, not only plastic but waste as well, the waste in totality.
Talk to us about the panel discussion that will be taking place in honor of World Environmental Day, and the panelists, etc., and the topics that will be unpacked and so forth. Give us a little bit of information.
Okay, the panel discussion will be happening on World Environment Day on Thursday. So we start at 9. The panelist is basically a diverse of fields, but then it covers the plastic from production to basically disposal. So we'll be talking about everything with regard to your production, what happens there, what are the issues, and then we also talk about the consumers. What is the consumer perspective with regard to plastic usage, especially single-use plastic, and then also what do they think about plastic waste. And then also we're going to have talk about the burning issues, like your plastic levy. Why do you pay when you go to the shop?
$1.50.
Why do you pay that $1.50 when you go to the shop? So all those things we'll be talking about. And then we have the panel is from the Ministry of Environment, from EIF, from we have the operations from our City of Windhoek own operations. We also have people on the panel. And we also have people from the non-governmental organizations that are within the recycling field. So it will be quite a good group of expertise that we can actually ask questions as an audience. Also, if you want to find out what that $1.50 is all about, you're more than welcome to actually come and ask them those questions. Yeah.
I understand that you need to RSVP as a member of the public if you'd like to, witness the public, the discussion.
Yes.
So talk to us about how we go about that. I know that you've got a QR code and it's on your social media, so just direct us.
Yeah, we have a QR code that is on our social media platforms, and once you scan, you can actually reserve your seat. So the seats are limited because the venue is limited. So it's still open, there's still space. So if you want to attend and you want to come pose your questions, please RSVP and come and be part of the conversation.
Yeah. Fantastic. If you could inspire every resident with one simple action to help reduce plastic pollution, Lorraine, what would it be?
One. Can I have two?
Sure.
Okay, the first one would be probably to just try and use a reusable bag as starters. Right?
When you go shopping.
When you go shopping. And the second one would be to just change your mindset to say that plastic is not waste anymore. It's actually something that you can make an income from. So if I can have that perspective into our public, that would be quite an achievement. Yes.
Lorraine, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Lena, for having me.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And when we come back after this brief break, our conversations continue, and we'll be speaking on Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, which falls in the month of June. We'll be right back.